Hey guys, welcome back. Seeing how my last video did so amazing, I decided to give you guys another one. I want to state, much like I did in my last video, that this one is definitely one of the darker stories going around right now. You may have seen it on the news, or hell, you may have found it through TikTok. The story we're looking at today is the story of Alexee Trevizo. Before we start, I just want to say that this story is going to go places. A lot of places. There are going to be some things that are just too hard to grapple with and some scenarios that are just unforgivable. And seeing how the story is still ongoing, I won't be able to give you the full story, only what's known to us at the time. Alexee was a high school senior who, unlike most high school seniors, seemed to have already charted her course in life. Well, life after high school anyway. From what we know, she was a great student. She had an outstanding GPA, she was on the cheerleading team. She was more than ready to start her college career after walking that stage and getting her diploma. But then January of 2023 rolled around. At this point, we're going to have to break down the story from what's alleged and from what's actually known. Here's what we know. Alexee was admitted to a local hospital, citing severe back issues as the reason for the visit. While waiting on the doctors and nurses, she left her room to go use the bathroom down the hall. There is actual surveillance footage of this, which you're seeing right now. At this point, she spends nearly 20 minutes in the bathroom. In between that time, her mom comes in to check on her, and some nurses and doctors even swing by to make sure that everything's okay. Alexee eventually leaves the bathroom, walking away as if nothing was wrong. About a half an hour later, the hospital's janitorial staff began to clean up the same bathroom that Alexee had just got done occupying. Once they started to change out the receptacles, they noticed that there was something heavy at the bottom of the bag. They pulled it out, and to their horror, they found the body of a dead newborn, buried alongside the rest of the garbage. The staff were completely horrified by what they just saw. At one point, even one of the doctors starts to hug and comfort the poor staff member who found the poor child. It didn't take long for them to connect the dots. The police were promptly called, and before Alexee knew it, she was informed that they had found her dead child, and in a state that made it clear that whoever did this didn't want to be caught. Upon being told that this had become a serious matter, Alexee shows the one emotion she didn't show when she disposed of her baby: regret.
Have you watched the news of the girls, that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail? I was crying.
She reveals to her mother that she wasn't aware that she was pregnant and that the baby just came. Throughout this whole ordeal, Alexee only really seems to be upset about the fact that she was caught, not by what she actually did. Police did their investigation into the matter and discovered through a medical expert that Alexee's baby died with air still in his lungs. He was alive. Not for long, but he was alive. Eventually, Alexee was arrested on first-degree murder charges and tampering with evidence, where her mother came to her daughter's aid and tried to keep her daughter safe. She eventually folded on the condition that they would treat her gently when taking her into custody. She asked for these officers to afford her the kindness that she never gave to her son. Alexee was eventually freed on a $100,000 bond and was allowed to graduate and even visit family members from out of state. Until her trial, which at the time of this video is set for October of 2023, she remains a free woman. Now that we've covered what's known, we have to look at what's been alleged. There are no shortage of theories as to whether or not Alexee actually knew of her pregnancy before showing up to the hospital. When the police arrived, the doctor told the officers present that they had confirmed that she was pregnant a little before the events that transpired. The doctor makes it clear that he believes that Alexee knew she was pregnant the whole time, and that she had been lying to him and the other staff for reasons unknown. There are some who even believe that the mother may have played a role in the crime, seeing how she hardly looks even the slightest bit upset about losing her grandchild. From the body camera footage provided, it would appear that the only person in the room showing even the slightest bit of emotion was the stepdad. It also doesn't help that he was the only one asking questions that pertain to the child, not his mother. As for whether or not Alexee knew about her pregnancy beforehand is up for debate, but what she did to her child certainly isn't. Alright, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do with you guys, and that's get personal. My mother is one of the fiercest, most honest, most outspoken women who has ever lived, and I'm proud to be her son. If there's one thing she's instilled in me from the start, It's that no one has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. Not any man, or any woman for that matter. With recent events and abortion laws being passed, my stance on the issue has only doubled down. What a woman chooses to do with her body is no one else's decision but her own. Yeah, it's easy to quote scriptures and hold up picket signs, but at the end of the day, it's not your decision to make. You do not get to make that decision. And even if that wasn't the route she wanted to go down, there was always adoption. Anyone can make a baby, but that doesn't mean everyone's cut out to be a parent. The point is, Alexee had options. She had a choice to make, and regardless of how the rest of the world chose to view her, that was still her choice to make. The truth is, there is no right choice. There's only the choices we choose to live with. And on that day, Alexee made the worst choice imaginable, and in the process, she ended 2 lives. Her son's, and whatever life she chose to live beyond high school. What's the latest on this story? Well, Alexee has a defense lawyer who's going to do everything he can to fight for her. And by fight for her, I mean he's going to rewrite the narrative and completely gaslight everything his client did. According to the statements he's made, his defense is going to be built around blaming the hospital staff for what happened, and for possibly leaking her medical files. It's the classic, "What my client did was unforgivable, but what they did was worse" kind of defense.
Major medication. Some of that medication certainly dangerous to a unborn child or fetus. So this is a situation in which the hospital failed her, the nurses and doctors failed her, the office of the medical investigator has failed her.
Yeah, you see those people right there, those ones right here? Those people who are horribly distraught by what she did? Yeah, they're the ones to blame for what happened, not her.
She just lost a child. Well, I mean, come on, there's got to be some common human decency here.
The trial is set for later this year, and that's all the story I have left for you. For now, anyway. Even if by some miracle Alexee isn't found guilty and is somehow acquitted of all charges, her life will never be the same. This is something that she will never be able to wash away. The court of public opinion always trumps the court of law. Do you think OJ and Casey Anthony's detractors suddenly changed their minds when they were found not guilty? No, of course not. It never happens, and it never will happen. And that's it for now. Thanks for all the support, guys, and I'll see you soon.